A great day to talk sport it is as we look forward to an amazing show today in the game on New Central TV. I am Udoka Njoku and I'm saying Ramadan Kareem to all my Muslim brothers and sisters out there as we have entered into the month of fasting. And of course, for the next 30 days, we'll be observing some serious fasting and prayer, most especially praying for our country, Nigeria, for things to go well for everyone right here in the country. Of course, you can reach us on social media and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at News Central TV. And as always, we kick off the show with our top 5 stories, starting with the world of football as we look forward to friendly games for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Now, the King Pele Stadium in Igali will move their next home games to a new venue after playing their last 2026 World Cup qualifier against the Bafana of South Africa. The newly refurbished Amahoro Stadium in Kigali has been completed and delivered to the Rwanda Football Federation. The newly renovated stadium was delivered on Sunday and is set to host the next home game of the Amavubi. The Rwandan football team will host Nigeria Super Eagles in the match on day 5 of the qualifier, and it will take place at the Amahoro Stadium. All right, moving on from there now. A few weeks after the conclusion of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast, the tournament's youngest player, Wilfred Nathan Douala, has been caught in the web of age scandal. Now, Douala was the youngest player in the competition, and he was 17 years old during the tournament. Now, the Cameroon Football Federation, FECAFOOT, unveiled a list of 62 players ineligible to play in the second part of the Elite Championship due to irregularities in identification and ages. The body declared Wilfred Douala, one of the stars of the Indomitable Lions during the AFCON in Côte d'Ivoire, as one of 62 players excluded from the championship as a result of double identity. Victoria United comes second with 7 players ruled out of the playoffs, with the biggest name of them all being Wilfred Nathan Douala. So he is facing that age cheating scandal. And we await more information on this developing story. And we'll let you know what FIFA and CAF will get to do about Douala. Away from there, let's talk about the FIFA Club World Cup. Now, the race is on for African clubs to secure the remaining places at FIFA's new 32-team Club World Cup tournament, which makes its debut in the United States in 2025. 2 of the continent's 4 qualification spots have already been claimed by recent CAF Champions League winners Al Ahly of Egypt and Morocco's Wydad Casablanca. Al Ahly booked their ticket by virtue of winning the 2022-2023 editions of Africa's Premier Club competition. Wydad, meanwhile, qualified after their 2021-2022 Champions League triumph under the tutelage of history-making coach Walid Regragui. Now, in the 2020-team list of clubs that have qualified for the competition in the U.S., FIFA confirmed the 2 African teams with remaining 12 slots to be filled at the end of the season. The 2 remaining African berths will go to the winners of the current 2023-2024 Champions League campaign and the highest-ranked side based on FIFA's club coefficient rankings. South Africa's Mamelodi Sundowns and Esperance of Tunisia are the only 2 clubs still in contention to claim that ranking spot should Al Ahly or Wydad win this season's CAF Champions League. From there, let's go straight to the Italia Serie A, where we saw something interesting but quite sad. Lecce have sacked their manager, Roberto De Varse, after he headbutted Verona striker Thomas Henry following Sunday's 1-0 loss in the Serie A. De Varse, who is 48, and Henry both received red cards for their parts in the incident, which took place as tempers flared after the final whistle. The Lecce boss admitted his actions were inexcusable when speaking after the game at the Stadio Via del Mare. Lecce announced De Varse had been relieved of his duties on Monday. The club put his dismissal to the events that occurred at the end of the Lecce-Verona match. Now, Sunday's loss saw Lecce drop to 15th in Italy's top-flight league, 2 places below Verona, with just 1 point cushion to the relegation zone. Now, Lecce have won just 1 of their last 12 fixtures, losing 9 during that stretch. And they appointed a coach to replace Marco Baroni last summer. Now, De Varse previously spent time in charge of Virtus Lanciano, Parma, and then Sampdoria. I mean, such action shouldn't come from a coach right there, not even in the Italian Serie A. Every part of football, a coach should not be seen headbutting a football player. All right, from there, let's go over to female football as Lindsay Horan scored the only goal as the United States defeated Brazil 1-0 on Sunday to win the CONCACAF Women's Gold Cup in California. U.S. keeper headed home in first half injury time at San Diego's Snapdragon Stadium to settle a largely lackluster final to the 12-team tournament. Horan, meanwhile, said the U.S. will take heart from the tournament victory as they build towards this summer's Olympics, noting the contributions of several younger players who have been drafted into the squad following last year's Women's World Cup last 16 exit. All right, I would have actually seen the celebration right there, trophy presentation, and how the U.S. women took that trophy home, celebrating that interesting win over Brazil. But that wraps up our top 5 stories. Let's go on a break. When we return, yes, the show continues. Thanks for staying with us. It is still in the game on News Central TV. I am Udoka Njoku. Let's go straight to the world of tennis, and it's all about that man called Carlos Alcaraz, who was in action in the Indian Wells, and it was an interesting win over Felix Auger-Aliassime. And for defending champion Carlos Alcaraz, he has now reached the 4th round at the Indian Wells with that comfortable straight set win over Auger-Aliassime.
How about those for some ups from Auger-Aliassime? Genius.
Game, set, and match.
8 in a row.
Big win for Carlos Alcaraz right there at the Indian Wells. And from there, let's talk about the female side now. And it's all about the world #1 Iga Swiatek, who overcame a slow start to defeat Czech teenager Linda Noskova in straight sets and also reached the 4th round at the Indian Wells. The 22-year-old, a 4-time major winner, trailed 4-2 in the first set and faced 3 break points in a pivotal 7th game. But she won 10 successive games from that point to earn a 6-4, 6-love victory. Now, Swiatek, who lost to Noskova at the Australian Open, will play Kazakhstan's Yulia Putintseva in the last 16.
Won that battle convincingly. Wonderful return game. That's just mean. Iga Swiatek has her revenge for that defeat.
Interesting win for Iga right there. And of course, she's eager to go all the way to the finals of the Indian Wells to secure winning the title. Now, talking about securing titles and medals, let's go straight to the African Games happening right there in Accra, Ghana, the 13th edition of the Games. Now, let's look at the medals table, because before we look at the teams and other events for today, we know that Egypt topped the medals table currently with 66 medals in total. They have 36 gold medals, 14 silver, and 16 bronze medals. Algeria comes second with 8 gold medals, 15 silver, and 16 bronze with 39 medals in total. South Africa, they have 8 gold medals, 7 silver, and 13 bronze with 28 medals in total, while Nigeria, courtesy the wrestling, they won 6 gold medals in that one, leading their gold medals to 7. Now they have 7 silver and 12 bronze medals with 26 medals in total. We have the likes of Mauritius, Madagascar, Tunisia, Morocco, Uganda, and Ghana. Ghana in the 10th position with 1 gold medal, 3 silver, and no bronze medal. They have 4 in total. And for Mauritius, they just won a gold medal just some minutes ago. Now they have 7 medals in total. Now looking at today's event, we have wrestling, weightlifting, swimming, cycling, chess, and of course cricket. All right, talking about football, let's look at the fixtures of games that were, rather yesterday we saw women's games that played, 2 games to be precise. Tanzania and Uganda played out a 1-1 draw, and of course Ghana defeated Ethiopia by a 0-0. And today in Group B of the women's game, Nigeria will be up against Senegal, and the Falconers will hope to win that one again, making it 6 points for them and secure qualification to the next round of the female football events. And over to the male side now in Group B, Senegal will take on Uganda, while Nigeria will take on South Sudan. And from there, let's talk about wrestling. We told you earlier that Nigeria won 6 gold medals in the world of wrestling. And with that one, they had different categories of female wrestling events at the ongoing 13th African Games on Sunday night. Now, Blessing Oborodudu started the gold medal haul by defeating Blandine Nyengiri of Cameroon 14-4. Odunayo Adekuroye followed suit by defeating Zineb Hassoun of Morocco. There was also Commonwealth and African champion, talking about Mercy Genesis, who dispatched her Egyptian opponent, Mohamed Nada. She won that one 7-0. African Games debutante Ogunsoya Christiana produced a dominant display in the 53 kg to outclass her opponent, Nogona Bakayoko of Cote d'Ivoire, 11-0, while Hannah Reuben added more celebration to the already agog atmosphere after she defeated Ami Yulin of Ivory Coast. So Nigeria have 6 gold medals from wrestling. And remember, before the start of the games, the wrestling president said, or rather the wrestling coach said his team would win all the medals available in the world of wrestling. And already Nigeria has 6. Let's hear from some of the wrestlers.
Coming to the South African Games to be able to maintain my position. My plan is that I'm not going to give away any point to anybody. It happened. I give God all the credit. I thank to my federation president, Igali, for his endless support and coaches, teammates that pushed me to this level. And I think my next competition is the African Championship and Olympic qualifier. I feel so happy, and I can say it's God. It's not being
coming here, I know I'm going to win the gold. I'm emotional because of my mom, and I was watching on the internet. I saw a lot of people posting their mom, wishing them happy Mother's Day. That brought tears to my eyes because she's late. So this medal is for her. Mom, I know you are smiling in heaven. I love you so much. Thank you.
I'm very happy, and firstly I'm grateful to God for this opportunity He has given to me. And we prepared well, and I'm so very happy to retain the title once more again.
Now, funny thing is, rather, should I say, a development is that we talk about sports development, and we're looking forward to seeing the younger ones take charge and take over from where the older ones have left it out. But looking at Adekuroye and, of course, Oborodudu is currently 34 years old, and Adekuroye is 30 years old. It just means that in a few years' time to come, these two will definitely quit being wrestlers for Nigeria. Now, do we have any of these younger ones to take charge and follow suit and become world-class wrestlers? Because looking at Adekuroye and Oborodudu, they are not just winners in Africa. even on the continent and outside Africa, the shores of Africa, they are champions right there. So we look forward to seeing a development in the world of wrestling and other sports in Nigeria, hoping that the younger ones can actually step up and become world beaters as well. All right, still talking about the African games, let's go straight to the cricket results of games played yesterday. And for Nigeria, the female Yellow Greens, yes, they defeated South Africa they lost to South Africa by 4 wickets, but they still sealed qualification to the semi-finals despite that loss. And South Africa, of course, that was their last group game in that one. For Nigeria, they finished second with 3 points. But looking at the other games, Namibia lost to Tanzania 103-86. There was a win for Zimbabwe, defeating Kenya 142-74. And Rwanda lost to Uganda 106-76 points. That's in cricket event at the African Games. All right, from there, let's travel straight to Ghana, talking about different games played across different centers in the Ghana Premier League. And we'll be taking a look at Nations FC as they played against Mediama SC. Nebosa Cabo right there talking about the coach for Mediama SC, talking about the difficulties in that game. But of course, it is a good one that they got a point playing against Nations FC away from home. Now, looking at the other results, Bechem United and Samatex, it was Bechem winning that one by 1-0. Idwana Stars defeated Legon Cities 1-0. Bibiani Gold Stars defeated Great Olympics 3-0. And Heart of Lions beat Real Tamale 2-0, while Nswatreman lost at home to Dreams FC by 2-0. And today, Heart of Oak will be taking on Bofako Tano. Those are the games that went down yesterday, and of course, one fixture to look out for later today in the Ghana Premier League. From there, let's go straight to the West African Brothers, the Nigeria Premier Football League drama as usual in the NPFL. And yesterday, it was all about Enyimba taking on Doma United. And we are very sure that we do not have the video assistant referee. But of course, it was a fascinating game, the clash between Enyimba, who secured all 3 points with a narrow win over Doma United from Gombe, which was marked by that late VAR controversy. Now, the only goal of that encounter was scored by Chijioke Mbaoma, who emerged as a hero, striking the winning goal in the 89th minute. But the match will be forever etched in the memory of football fans following that rowdy event, looking at that decisive moment. Now, the deadlock persisted until the 88th minute when Enyimba was granted a corner kick. After Enyimba executed a short play, the ball eventually reached Mboma, who scored, which you can actually see that corner kick and see how the goal was scored by Chijioke Mboma. Now, referee Nura Abdullahi promptly awarded the goal, unaware of the brewing controversy. And the assistant referee had initially raised the flag for an offside position. And of course, curiously, the flag was lowered after Mboma's goal, triggering protests from Doma officials. But of course, just to let you know that the referee later went to an OB van, which was parked right outside the football pitch. He checked it, and looking at the review, he came in and gave a goal. Now, the question is, why would the referee do such a thing? There is no video assistant referee in the Nigeria Premier Football League, and I'm wondering why he did that. But we were waiting for comments from the NPFL. We did reach out to Doma United and Enyimba, but we could not get any comments from both clubs. But with that, let's look at the other games that were played in the Nigeria Premier Football League. And looking at the results, it was Abia Warriors with a 1-0 win over Lobi Stars. And Enugu Rangers and Kwara United played out a goalless draw. We told you earlier, Enyimba defeated Doma United by 1-0. And Shooting Stars defeated Aqua United by 3-0. And Sporting Lagos, yes, Sporting Lagos with a 4-1 win over Remo Stars, which was quite an historic one for Sporting Lagos, who wrote their names into the history books on Sunday, recording their biggest ever win in the Nigeria Premier Football League. Now, Remo Stars coach Daniel Ogumodede says he accepted that defeat, and of course, he takes full responsibility for the loss, knowing that it was a vital 3 points lost in that encounter, while Sporting Lagos manager Paul Ofo was excited for that big and historic win.
We lost a very Vital point. 3 points we aim to come to get, and we didn't get nothing. First, my apologies to our passionate fans. It's a woeful loss. It's unacceptable. So I take responsibility for the loss. But this is football. It happens, and maybe some other day, if we defend like that, we'll have to concede like that. 3 point next game against Eyimba. This is our next focus. There's no big deal. We want to go to make our fans happy again.
For the players, the quality and the character they showed today, it's something we are very proud of. I am very proud as a coach to have them display like this in front of their fans and in front of everybody. Then also being a derby game against Remo Star, one of the best teams in the league, to win them, to score 4 goals against them is a massive result for us today, and I'm proud of my team.
Out of the relegation zone now.
Relegation zone, we just want to keep going. We just want to keep playing our best football, enjoy ourselves, entertain our fans, and get all the possible points we can get.
Just happy because we needed the points. So I'm very happy because we worked very hard this week because of this game. So I'm happy we got the points. There's nothing I have against Remo Star. It's my former team, and I respect them so much. I have friends like more than brothers, the coach, the staffs. So, you know, when you are playing against your former team and everybody wants to see the main reason why you are playing against them, because why is the reason why you left them, go to another team. So you have to give everything. So I'm happy we came out victorious. The point is very important for us. The score, I don't care about the score, but the point is very important for us.
4 goals to 1, it ended in favor of Sporting Lagos, defeating Remo Stars. And he saw Junior Lokosa, who once played for Remo Stars. He was also on the score sheet. And he says, look, there's nothing he has against his former side, Remo Stars. But beautiful goals that we saw yesterday in that game, especially talking about Remo Stars taking on Sporting Lagos. Now with that, let's look at the table and see where the teams are played after the games that were played over the weekend. Now, Lobby Stars are top with 43 points. Enyimba with that controversial win over Doma. They have 42 points, placed on second position. Plateau United are third. Enugu Rangers, Remo Stars, and Kano Pillars are fourth, fifth, and sixth. Now, Heartland are still swimming with their hearts right there in relegation waters, with Gombe United and Akwa United following suit. There's Kwara United also struggling in the NPFL. But, of course, Sporting Lagos are now out of the relegation zone. They just hope that they don't find themselves in the relegation waters again in the Nigeria Premier Football League. All right, from there, let's talk about the South Africa Premier League. That is a PSL result. That match is played yesterday, 2 games to be precise. Polokwane lost at home to Lamontville Golden Arrows by 1-0, and Royal AM defeated Cape Town City by 2-0. While in the Egypt Premier League, we saw El Dakhleya losing to Pyramids FC 2-0. Smoha beat Ceramica Cleopatra by 1-0. And today, Al Ittihad Alexandria will be taking on Future FC. All right, from that one, let's talk about Morocco, the top flight league right there. We saw interesting games. Hassania Agadia lost to RSB Bekan by 2-0. Martetouan lost to Renaissance by 1-0. We saw FUS Rabat losing at home to Raja Casablanca by 1-0. And the Farabat defeated Yusufia Berekid by 2-0. And it means that all the games played yesterday, the 4 games played yesterday, all the away teams grabbed victories in that one. And if you are a bettor and you played all the away teams to win, I'm sure you'll be cashing out big by this time. All right, let's go on a break. When we return, we will travel to the English Premier League and let you know who is on top of the table and other games played right there. Glad to have you stay with us. It is still in the game on News Central TV. I am Udoka Njoku. Now let's go straight to the English Premier League. Interesting games played yesterday. Well, starting off with the one that went down, talking about the Super Sunday clash between Liverpool and Manchester City. Well, for some Liverpool fans, they felt like they were robbed in that game because there was supposed to be a late-minute penalty where Njoku committed a foul right there inside the box where he raised a boot to a Liverpool player. But the VAR said no to that call. Let's see those interesting goals. Okay, well, we do not have the highlights from that game, but let's hear from the coaches, Pep Guardiola and, of course, Jurgen Klopp, who had his last dance playing against Manchester City, knowing that at the end of the season, he would say goodbye to Liverpool.
Just imagine a crazy situation where they are all right. You just have always the right decision. But now we are constantly discussing about something where why would the guy in this video studio just think, I think that's not clear and obvious. What must you have for lunch if you think that's not clear and obvious? So, and that's just, but I'm not angry or whatever. It's just a situation, but it's fine. I'm so happy about the way we played today. No, he's happy. No problem. No. I like it. If he's upset, it's good. So, make decisions because I know where we miss it and we skip the ball and we could not miss him. With him and Bernie and John and the other one, we could not have it. And after we did it better. So, but listen, Kevin is. What can I say for Kevin? We need it and we need him and it's really, really important. It's not for him. So he is in a difficult place to come to play and he tried in the first half, was incredibly involved in all the transitions, the shoots and the corner, the deliver and many things. We know it, but the moment I had the second half after goal concede, or we give them in that moment, so the game was not in our hand.
Liverpool won, Manchester City won, and it just means that both teams dropped points. And Arsenal remain top of the Premier League table, tied on points with Liverpool on 64 points. But of course, Arsenal lead on goal difference. Looking at the other games, we saw Aston Villa. Well, they felt like they had a battle against Tottenham Hotspur, but with a red card.
Spurs play on, hence the booze around Villa Park with Watkins down in the penalty box. It's time to make it 4-0 to Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, boys are outstanding today in all facets. Yeah, they're a good side, obviously here at home, really tough to beat, and yeah, crowd's a good atmosphere for them. So I thought we handled all that really well, especially in the first half, where they were going to have the energy. But I just felt even towards the end of the first half, our continual pressing and sort of tempo intensity was beginning to wear on them, and that was the message.
Big win for Tottenham Hotspur, defeating Aston Villa by 4-0, and it just keeps their dreams alive of securing a spot for the UEFA Champions League for next season. Now looking at the other results, we saw Brighton defeating Nottingham Forest by 1-0, and it was a 2-2 between Burnley and West Ham United. And we told you earlier that it was a 1-1 draw between Liverpool and Manchester City. And today, just one game will go down. Chelsea will take on Newcastle United. And for Pochettino, well, he's looking for a positive performance from his side and also believing that his side can claim all 3 points against Newcastle United.
Only win in the way that they can believe in us is to winning games. And because of the circumstance I was explaining, maybe we are not consistent enough. Of course, in the last, after Wolverhampton, we play Aston Villa, City, Palace, Liverpool game and Brentford, and we didn't lose in 90 minutes. It's 5 games, no? 5. But look, because of this, of the expectation, that is the problem. When the expectation no match the reality.
Of course, for the expectations, yes, the Chelsea fans expect you to win all your games because Chelsea has invested a lot of money in that squad. So nothing but victories should be happening for the Blues, who are currently in the second half of the Premier League table. So they will need a positive performance against Newcastle United, and nothing but 3 points for Chelsea would make the Chelsea fans happy. From England, let's go straight to Spain, where it was all about Real Madrid, who secured a vital win. Well, a very angry director who is currently behind the scenes said Real Madrid are not playing good football, winning easily in that one because he is a Barcelona fan. And I'm wondering, why the beef? Come on, let your team perform well and you'll be top of the La Liga table. Now, looking at the other games, we saw Villarreal, of course, they were also in action yesterday. They defeated Real Betis by 3-2, and it was a 5-goal thriller. Great win for Villarreal right there in the Spanish La Liga, defeating Real Betis by 3-2. And there was Athletic Club beating Las Palmas 2-0. Rayo Vallecano lost to Deportivo Alaves by a goal to nil. And table toppers Real Madrid demolished Celta Vigo by 4 goals to nil. Today, Sevilla will be in action, taking on Almeria. And running straight to the Italia Serie A for Juve. Well, all right, that was a 2-2 between Atalanta and Juve. We also saw an interesting game between Fiorentina and Roma. Roma having to fight back to draw that game 2 goals apiece. AC Milan with a 1-0 win over Empoli secured all 3 points right there, and Lecce lost to Verona. And our top stories, we told you that the Lecce manager headbutted a Verona player, Henry Thomas, and afterwards he got fired from being the manager of Roma, of Lecce. Now today, Lazio will be in action, taking on Udinese. That's still talking about the Italia Serie A. Now running away to the German Bundesliga, one team remains unbeaten in that one. Talking about Bayer Leverkusen, who really want to finish the league as the winners and unbeaten this season.
Wasn't looking for.
And indeed, daylight between Leverkusen and Bayern Munich right there in the German Bundesliga. Leverkusen running away with the points over there, defeating Wolfsburg by 2 goals to nil. Hoffenheim lost away from home as they played against Frankfurt. They lost that one 3 goals to 1, while Bochum defeated Freiburg by a goal to nil. And in the French Ligue 1 for PSG, well, they are beginning to live life without Kylian Mbappe. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang getting 2 goals for Marseille right there in the French Ligue 1, with those goals actually leading his team, Marseille, to a 2-0 win over Nantes in the French Ligue 1. Now let's wrap up with the world of basketball, and it's all about the Los Angeles Lakers and Anthony Davis, who becomes the first player in the NBA history to pull up 25. Anthony Davis performing legendary for the LA Lakers in that big win over the Minnesota Timberwolves, 120-109 win. Oklahoma City Thunder defeated Memphis Grizzlies 124-93. We also saw Philadelphia 76ers defeating New York Knicks 79-73 points, as the Brooklyn Nets beat Cleveland Cavaliers 120-101 points. And that's what we'll draw a wrap on today's show in the game on News Central TV. I'm Udoka and Njoku saying thank you very much for watching. And once again, we say Ramadan Kareem to our Muslim brothers and sisters. Enjoy the rest of your day.